Hi, everyone. I loved when one of the comedians spoke of how he enjoys the one on one, but once there are more than one person he speaks with, things get a little choppy. And that takes place for some reason because then the egos get involved. Although I've come to realize what an ego really is, which we don't use very well. And then I started going down the whole concept of power. What is power? Because the truth of the matter is, one person speaking to another, the dynamic doesn't become a struggle so much in a way. Whereas one person speaking to more than one, then those who are getting together and the dynamics change, those people can exert far more energy towards the other. And then when you look at the species that we are and how we conduct ourselves in the past hundreds of years, where we hold one person in power, often that one person gets onto that platform where people are looking up to that one human being. And that person holds a lot of energy. That person is given the right to dictate how others think, feel, and live their lives. That person is given the key. Quite literally, if we look at it, that person is bestowed or given the energy, and it truly is an exchange of energy. And that's where it's really imperative that we recognize that another human being taking on that kind of energy ought to know what they've got. Please be very careful about how you give away something so precious, because that energy, in my opinion, ought to be given only to our higher source. And if we don't, if we place a human with human tendencies, human vulnerabilities, human mental, emotional, psychological state, then the weird part of it is we actually disempower ourselves as much as the other person, because that's a loop. That is not an elevation. Neither one will move forward. Both will repeat what's happened prior in history of human civilization. And that is where most of us need to truly be conscious. No one can hold power over us unless we give it away. And where does that come from? That's where I was really wondering, how does the human species give away so much without really considering the consequences? And then I listened to Bashar. And again, you need to be a little more open-minded for this one, because it took me aback. The notion of the extraterrestrials coming in to this planet to extract resources, looking at these giant creatures, and then figuring out how to enslave them. And here's the unfortunate part of it. Also manipulating the DNA of those massive creatures. How's that for a history lesson? That really threw me. I thought, is it possible that we walk around with that kind of genetic mutation? Is that possible why we keep repeating the scenario, to coming to terms as a human species that this is not the way to be with one another? And if it's not, then again, the power that you have, please connect it to Source. That's the one who truly will guide your life within anything that goes on this earthly plane, however we live through this. I wish you the best. Please keep your faith. Please stay neutral no matter what. And please recognize that your preferences, now I'd like to speak more of it, because for me, that was also revealed when I listened again to Bashar about ego, which really fascinates me. Because then once you know what you're dealing with and why there are so many who give away their power, or they use certain way of behaving to control others, then you recognize that where they stand is very disempowered. Please stop engaging. You've got higher calling than that. All right, Starseed, take good care. Peace.